Hey there, Ryan Reynolds here. It's a new year, and you know what that means. No, not the diet. Resolutions. A way for us all to try and do a little bit better than we did last year. And my resolution, unlike big wireless, is to not be a raging and raise the price of wireless on you every chance I get. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited. See mintmobile.com for details.
Oh, sorry. That's for a Democrat show.
No matter what the technical difficulty is, this man is a professional. He goes all the way.
What you represent to them is freedom.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This will allow me to retort.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver of Common Sense show. 8 p.m. on shrmedia.com.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I am trying to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Hit the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch a broadcast, go to Reaver.one. Click on the live stream. Don't forget. Click on the subscribe. And if you want to support the show or support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one and you got it. Click on the Reaver store. Pick yourself up a t-shirt, coffee mug, skateboard. So how's everybody doing today? I'm really tired. I don't know why. I actually went to bed early last night. But, we got a piece coming up that's going to get my blood pressure up and probably your blood pressure up and everybody's blood pressure up. Just to give you a hint, and I know he never does this. He never, ever, ever speaks out. But Glenn Beck has had a few things to say about conservatives. And they weren't that nice. He's being a big old meanie. Okay, if anybody didn't get it, I was being joking by the big meanie thing. So, all right. Sheriff David Clark, the only person safe in a gun-free zone is the criminal. I've said this time and time and time and time and time and time again, and if you don't get it, I've said it time and time and time again. The only thing gun-free zones create are corpses and victims. That's all. It does not create safety. It creates corpses and victims. During his May 20th speech to the NRA Leadership Conference in Louisville, Kentucky, Sheriff Dave Clark Jr. said, the only person safe in a gun-free zone is the criminal. He made this comment while referencing the horrendous May 12, 2006 sexual attack suffered by Kimberly Corbin in her room on a college campus. Clark said this brave woman voluntarily shares the story of a horrific event so that other women do not have to experience what she did. She found out when seconds matter, the police were not a 911 call away. She also learned that the only person safe in the gun-free zones, like a college campus, is the criminals. She knows that law-abiding people have been disarmed in these gun-free zones by their government. He paused, then looked at the audience and said, "Don't ever let anyone tell you to outsource your safety to the government. You had to defend yourself in ways that are more advantage to you than dial 911. The only way 911 would work is if you had a cop in a pocket." And this is not bashing cops. It takes seconds for a criminal to break in your house and do bodily harm to you. It takes seconds. It takes minutes for the police to arrive. And unless they're sitting outside your house when it happens, it's too late. Clark went on to handle that firearm, practice, then become proficient with it. Know its capabilities and its limitations. Take time to learn the safety, handling, and storing the weapon. A gun in the hand of a law-abiding citizen is not a threat to society at large. It is a threat only to the criminals. And it is also a threat to an ever-expanding federal government hell-bent on obliterating your right to keep and bear arms. I have talked about this time and time again. These laws do not protect us. They help the criminal. Criminals do things the easy way because that's what they do. They're criminals. If they wanted to do things the hard way, they'd be, doing things the way we do it. They wouldn't be breaking laws and taking shortcuts. So creating laws, creating more laws, creating laws upon laws will never work, has not worked. Because if it was going to work, don't you think just making murder illegal, that would solve the problem, wouldn't it? But murder is already against the law. So adding in all these thousands upon thousands upon thousands of laws does nothing. Zip, zero, zilch, nada. The only thing it does is interferes with citizens, law-abiding citizens being able to protect themselves. Now, Politico is up in arms. Oh, my God. There's a backlash. They have declared that there is a backlash over Trump's being endorsed by the NRA. There is a backlash from NRA members because 2 members are upset. On May 21st, Politico cited 2 of the more than 5 million NRA members to declare a backlash over their Donald Trump endorsement. One of the 2 members brought up well-publicized news that Trump supported certain gun control measures in the 1990s. Politico itself reported that Trump has since disavowed those positions, and Breitbart News reported that Trump is a concealed permit holder, a lifetime member of the NRA, and is against an assault weapon ban, a high-capacity magazine ban, an expansion of background checks, and the continuance of gun-free zones in public places and on military bases. Isn't it part of the thing of being conservatives? We help teach those that don't know about weapons to expand their knowledge, so they understand, so that they don't go the route of banning, that they come over to our side and say, hey, holy shit, you were right. And this one's making me extremely pissed off. Did Trump possibly have those back then? Probably. He didn't know about guns. He only knew what he was told. As he expanded his knowledge and found out that all that political bullshit was just that, bullshit, he changed his view and admits he was wrong. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with a person expanding their knowledge? What's wrong with a person that has learned the mistakes that he made at 20 years ago? 26 years ago? I'm getting tired of people. They want us to expand people's knowledge about guns. And when people wake up, still bash them for their past ideas. Well, those types of people are no better than the liberals in the way they act. Listen, people change. Ideas change. Not everybody is the same that they were 20 years ago. Yes, I'm rounding off. It just... People and their ideas change. Their political ideas change. We've been trying to get people to come to our side. And now they're learning that if they come to our side, they're going to be browbeaten for the rest of their life because at one time they had a different idea. Yeah, that's the party I want to come to. So go ahead, bring it to me because, yes, I was Democrat at one time during my youth. And as I've heard several strong conservatives say, there's not many conservatives when you're 18, 19, 20 years old. When you don't have life experience, when you don't have a lot of knowledge of what life's about, you have that very carefree rainbow idea of the world, which fits with the liberals. But as you understand life and become more knowledgeable, you usually become more conservative with your ideas. People's got... I don't know what is wrong with some of these people. They seem to be like some of these born-again Christians. And I said some. That, hey, it's great. Great that you found Jesus and you found religion again. But some of them go overboard, like the non-smokers too, that nobody can be around them that has an ounce of smell of smoke. Those that freak out and expect you to, curtail to their every need and wishes. Well, that's what some of these conservatives sound like. And I think it was yesterday I said, yeah, it was yesterday. It's funny, the never-Trumpers, who are so conservative, have gone to the Libertarian Party, which is pro-choice on everything. Everything, including abortion. So now they're telling these never-Trumpers are saying that the Libertarian Party is going to have to change for them. If you want to meet some stubborn people, meet libertarians. And it's not always a bad thing, so don't give me no hate mail over that. But if you want to meet some stubborn people, meet the Libertarian Party. And these never-Trumpers, well, they're sounding more and more like Obama-nites. They want everybody to fall in line to them. They want everybody to change their life for them when they're not the majority. They're very much a small minority. But yes, Politico. Sorry, I got total different idea on that. Politico suggests there is a backlash over the NRA's endorsement of Trump. At the same time, Politico acknowledged that the NRA-ILA executive director Chris Cox stood in front of thousands upon thousands of NRA members during Friday's leadership forum and said those who are bitter because their candidate didn't win need to get over it. Cox's exact words, if your preferred candidate dropped out of the race, it's time to get over it. Politico then cited NRA member David Davis, who used a Facebook post to disavow the NRA following the Trump endorsement, and who called Trump a lying, progressive, anti-gun Democrat. Davis said he refused to get over it, choosing instead to cut ties with the NRA. Counting Davis, that makes a total of 2 disgruntled NRA members out of more than 5 million. Are 2 out of more than 5 million really grounds to suggest a backlash? Now, I know some of these never-Trumpers, they're screaming, we need to do a boycott on NRA. Man, these guys, they make me laugh. They think they're the majority. They're not. They think they're on some ideological pathway. They're not. They're throwing a temper tantrum. They're upset. Their candidate didn't win. Listen, we'll catch more of this on the other side of the break. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and HighPlainsPunditRadio.com. We'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
To Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on SHRmedia.com and HighPlainsDailyNews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cap for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on SHRmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, trying to make sense out of the senseless. Thank God I bought that UPS. Whew. And uninterrupted power supply. I just lost power like 3 times in my house for like a split second. I could see the lights going out and everything, and I was like, oh, crap, there goes. Gonna have to reset the show. I'm like, wait a minute. Ooh, I got a UPS. Yay! Nothing shut down on the computer-wise. I got both computers and the modem plugged into the UPS. It did its job. It's weird. No storms, no nothing. Nice sunny day out, and just the power started fluctuating. It's how computers get burnt out, too. And freaking out local power company. Thanks, Tico. And welcome back, Jenna. I wonder who that was that jumped in the chat room for a minute and kind of looked around and jumped on out. Should have stayed for a little bit. But, yeah, backlash over 2 people. Because we've been talking about Politico did an article saying there's this backlash. There's a backlash. Oh, my God. 2 people. Ever since Trump came out, I've been on the Trump train. And the reason is because he is a business guy. And, you know, people say, well, he's not a Republican. He's not a Democrat. And that's right. He's a problematist. He sees a problem and he solves it. And he doesn't care for flavoring it to your favorite religion, political party, or whatever, because that requires pandering. Instead, Trump sees a problem, he acts to it, fixes it. And this makes him unique among candidates in my lifetime. Mills then spoke specifically to Trump's position on guns versus Hillary Clinton's position, saying Hillary is going to lie to you and take your guns out of your pocket while she's patting you on the shoulder, and Donald's going to say, I don't want your gun. People, you know Hillary. She has said she is going to try to take your guns. She has said she wants to do away with the Second Amendment. Right there. One out of God knows how many reasons not to vote for her. Trump is not what the media has been telling you he is. We've been saying for years how we know the media lies, but all of a sudden now all these conservatives, the media said this. Oh my God, Trump's not this. Makes me laugh. Now, Sanders has spoke out against Debbie Wasserman Schultz, that she is not that kind of chair that the Democrat Party needs. Sundays on CBS, Face the Nation, Democrat presidential candidate Sanders Yeah, Senator Bernie Sanders criticized Democrat National Committee Chairwoman Representative Debbie Wasserman Schultz and said she is not the kind of chair that the Democrat Party needs. Do I think she's the kind of chair that the Democrat Party needs? No, I don't. What we need right now is revitalized democracy in America, to bring millions of young people and working class people into the system to a significant degree. Frankly, what the Democrat Party is about, people running around to rich people's homes and raising obscene sums of money from wealthy people. What we need to do is to say to the working class people, we're on your side. We know that you need the ability to send your kids to college, and you can't afford it right now. We know that in many cases, the income that you're making has gone down. We are prepared to stand up to Wall Street, whose greed has done so much harm to our economy. To corporate America, who's sending jobs 20 Chinese in 5 minutes, and if they can make $2 more in profit, that's the kind of party we need to be vital party. Working class people who are young people who have a dream that this country can be much more than it is today. Not just party where we have our folks raising money from wealthy people. You know, it seems there's a lot of fucking jealous people in this country right now. Because all like, wow, that was weird. It seems all people can do is try to bash all their problems on the people who have money. It's always their fault. Why is it their fault? If your politician that you vote for is getting bought by people with money, don't vote for him. If I don't get it. Why are we going to sit here and bash the wealthy? Because some of them got it from their family? Jealous? Yeah. It gets tiresome with this crap. So what? They have money. And they're going to do what's best for their family. And that's what everybody should be doing, what's best for their families. Do I agree with these jobs being sent overseas? No. But when you have a government that's overtaxing these corporates, that are making them pay for all this extra shit, forcing them for insurance and all that, well, of course they're going to go overseas. You're forcing them to go overseas. I don't get it. I don't get it. And I'm still laughing at someone that called Trump a failure. His company's a failure. He's a failure. Let me tell you, I wish I could have failed that spectacular. Well, he declared bankruptcy 4 times. And out of how many companies did he buy out? That's the part they don't understand. Well, there was banks that got screwed over, that never got their money. There was mom and pop companies that never got their money. Actually, yeah, they did. Maybe not as much as the full debt was. But that's also, as much as it would piss me off, I wouldn't be happy. But in the back of my head, I also be going, that's part of business. When you do business, there's a chance the company could fuck you over, declare bankruptcy, and hey. But also sometimes bankruptcy is done when you buy out a company that's not doing good. You see that it does have a profitable side, but to fix that problem, you declare bankruptcy. So there's a restructuring of the finances in the company and the debt. And allows you to pay that debt off and sometimes pennies on the dollars. I mean, you'd have to look at each case and look at each judge's ruling. Just because he declared bankruptcy does not mean that debt went out the window and he never repaid it again. And that one is what I love. He declared bankruptcy, all that money went out the window. No, it didn't. It was a restructure. And I just, it boggles my mind. How many companies he bought? And he had 4 bad companies that he bought. Maybe he bought them knowing they were bad companies and just wanted to restructure them to make them profitable. What are they doing nowadays? You know, everybody just looks at this blank slate and they don't look at the whole book. You know, there's more information than just 4 bankruptcies. There's more information than that. And no, you don't need to look at taxes to figure it out. And I can't believe how many people are buying into the media and buying into the liberal agenda against Trump. I can't believe it. One thing I'm happy to hear that the officer Edward Nero is not guilty on all counts of Freddie Gray's case. This is an officer that really had nothing to do. I'm hearing conflicting, but last I heard, he really had nothing to do with the case. But he got lumped in. The Baltimore officer, Edward Nero, was acquitted on Monday of 4 charges in the 2015 death of black detainee Freddie Gray, the second setback for prosecutors in a case that triggered riots and fueled the Black Lives Matter movement. Baltimore City Circuit Court Judge Barry Williams, who heard the case in a bench trial, told a packed court that Nero, 30, had acted as any officer would during Gray's arrest in April 2015. I'm getting tired of this notion that there was no justice served. Well, actually, justice was served. What you want is revenge. There is a difference. You say there was no justice served in Ferguson. No, justice was served. Revenge wasn't. Nero is the second officer to be tried and face misdemeanor charges of second-degree assault, reckless endangerment, and 2 counts of misconduct in office. The first trial of an officer in the 25-year-old Gray's death ended in a mistrial. Mayor Stephanie Rawlings Blake issued a statement urging calm. The only incident in the immediate aftermath of the verdict indicated or involved protesters chasing members of Nero's family into a parking lot yelling, "No justice, no peace." Welcome back. I wonder what happened, Jenna. No, again, justice was served. You want revenge. Freddie Gray, his death is tragic. He is not innocent. He was not innocent that day. If you are a drug dealer and you are in an area of selling drugs, of course officers are going to put 2 and 2 together. I am getting sick and tired of these criminals. They play the game within the system. And don't tell me, well, he couldn't have killed himself in the back of that truck. Yeah, he could have. He just had neck surgery, fusion. It doesn't take a lot to... if anybody doesn't understand neck fusion, what they do is they remove the cartilage. That's weird. One of my listeners who's in a whole nother state, whole nother part of the country, as I was talking about my power and out, their power went out. They take the disc that's in between the vertebrae, the squishy stuff that allows you to bend your neck. They removed that, which basically your spinal cord, is exposed. And what they do is they're trying to get the bones above and below to grow bone to fuse it together. Sometimes they put a metal plate to help stabilize, sometimes they don't. Well, you start banging your head against the wall, that can sever your spine right there. And yes, he did have surgery recently. He has been caught injuring himself in the past while being detained by police so that he can sue the city. He had just gotten a settlement on that. Is that what happened? Don't know. There's a lot of things that aren't adding up. The mayor was quick to blame the police on everything. She was quick to allow and even speak that it was okay for them to riot. She helped make that situation worse. And now I'm hearing that that these laws need to be changed to make it easier to convict these officers. Well, you do that, you're not going to have any police officers. You're going to have criminals running the streets, and you're going to have anarchy in the streets. And sometimes I wonder if that's what these people want, is anarchy. All right, we're going to catch more of this on the other half of the break. And then we're going to get to Glenn Beck. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
To Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying Kafka, stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm making sense out of the senseless, or at least trying to. The Jersey Takeover is here. We've expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch the broadcast, go to Reaver.one, click on the live stream. And if you like the live stream, don't forget to subscribe and keep up to date. If you want to support the show and support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one and click on the Reaver store. Pick yourself up some nice t-shirts, bumper stickers, skateboards, coffee mugs, you name it, it's there. So during the break, I found on MSNBC, they had a poll. It's still up. It says, do you want to see Donald Trump become the next president of the United States? Now, this is MSNBC. 44,000 people have voted, and 76% have said yes, they want Trump. That's funny. I'm sorry, the simple things that make me laugh. But back to the subject at hand. We're talking about Officer Nero, who was found not guilty in the Freddie Gray incident. State's attorney Marilyn Mosby had charged Nero with arresting Gray without probable cause when he ran from police and other officers unprovoked in a high-crime area. She also contended Nero did not secure Gray in a police transport van. Gray died from a spinal injury suffered in the van. Nero's lawyers had argued that Gray's arrest was justified and that the officer had little to do with it. He never touched Gray except when he tried to help him find an asthma inhaler and helped lift him into the van, they said. During a 25-minute reading of his decision, Williams said Nero acted as a similar situated officer would, and that prosecutors had failed to prove their case. He said Nero's partner, Garrett Miller, had testified that Nero had done little during the arrest. Miller stated unequivocally that he was the one who detained and handcuffed Mr. Gray. Nero still faces an internal department investigation. There was no response from Mosey's office since those involved in the case are under a court gag order. In a statement, nose itchy. I know, I don't know where Kelly is today again. That's strange. Maybe she's not feeling good again with her back. In his statement, defense attorney Mark Zion said Nero appreciated the reasonable judgment of Williams in this verdict and called on Mosby to dismiss charges against the 5 other officers accused in the case. Gray's death a week Gray's death a week after his arrest had sparked a day of rioting in which nearly 400 buildings were damaged or destroyed in the majority black city of 620,000 people. The case helped stoke the Black Lives Matter movement and national debate over policing in minority communities. Baltimore paid Gray's family $6.4 million in a settlement reached last year. Wouldn't that be a bitch? They find all the officers innocent, but yet they paid the family off $6.4 million. They were quick to settle with this family. And that doesn't settle right with me. William Porter was the first officer tried in the case, and his trial ended in a hung jury in December. The charges against the officers range from misconduct to second-degree murder. The hashtag Freddie Gray began trending on Twitter after news of Nero's acquittal. Some black activists expressed their disappointment. Freddie should be alive today. D-Ray one of the Black Lives Matter guys, who did an unsuccessful run for mayor of Baltimore in April. He was the one that was on Fox News, and he could not answer any question. All he could say is, we need to change the laws. We need to change the laws. Well, maybe Freddie Gray would be alive today if he was not a drug seller. Maybe he would be alive today if he was not a criminal. Everybody's overlooking that part. They're overlooking that part in Ferguson. They were criminals. They're breaking the law. Well, I hate to tell you, that is part of the job. That's the danger of being a criminal. It'd be like me as a firefighter, my wife getting mad that I got burned as a firefighter. And believe me, there is some that get upset. I got burned. Why? It just boggles my mind. Freddie Gray should be alive today. Yeah, he should. He should have followed the law. He shouldn't have been selling drugs. Shouldn't have ran from the police. There's a lot of things that should have gone down. Maybe he should have still been rehabbing his neck from where they did the fusion just a couple weeks before, and that could take months, especially if you're a smoker. And yeah, I know, I'm not because I'm a reformed smoker, but because as a smoker, you heal slower. I just don't get it. We're to this protect the criminals, shit on the people that are law-abiding, and try to lock up the police for doing their jobs. I don't care if Freddie was white, pink, purple, green. I'm sorry, I don't look at skin color like other people do. We're not allowed to do that in EMS, and that shit is ingrained in our heads. We're not allowed to have any bias towards anything. If you don't want to be fucked with by cops, don't break the law. Is there some cops that are going rogue out there? Yes. That doesn't mean all cops are going rogue. It just... Listen, the Hillsborough County Sheriff's, I am not happy with. That's my local police department. Sorry, law enforcement. I got a problem with Hillsborough County as a whole because even the firefighters and the EMS, they're more worried about their service jacket and what classes they have and how they look than to worry about if they actually know how to apply everything they've learned in class in the real world. Understanding and knowing it is one thing. Being able to apply it in real world is another thing. Not all police are bad. I know a lot of officers. And they're pretty good people. I don't know. It's this whole world upside down since Obama took over. This whole world has gone batshit crazy anymore. And when we're settling cases from criminals before anybody is even found guilty or innocent, that has to say something about our justice system right there. It has to say something. Our system's going batshit crazy. We're protecting the criminals, arresting the cops. And that's that D-Ray. He wants the laws changed. And cops should be held accountable, yes. But if you make it so they make one small mistake, they're going to be prosecuted. He wants them held to a higher standard than the criminals. They want to redo our justice system, but yet make it harder on police. And then they'll complain about the high crime rate. Well, the asinine of having government in our lives. Bitch about the police doing their job, then bitch about the high crime rate. Bitch about courts putting people who break the laws that these congressmen put into law. They're the ones that enact the laws, then bitch that there's too many people in jail. Anybody see a problem with that? They're the ones that make the law. Now they're the ones that are bitching that there's too many people in jail. That one hurts my head trying to figure it out. There's people that get hurt by police. Jesus Christ. Friggin' Obama had orders that at national parks there is no dancing allowed. Nobody was crying when people were getting slammed to the ground by national park police. Why? Because one husband and wife were hugging and rocking back and forth, and they were arrested for it. Yeah, that never really got much attention. But a criminal who ran from police died in police custody with a long rap sheet is the one that we're supposed to redo our laws for. A gentleman who just got done Yeah, it was national parks back in 2011. People were getting arrested for dancing. And I'm not talking like just they were protesting at that point about the dancing. And when one guy's just like stepping side to side and his arms are swaying, and he got slammed to the ground and arrested. Well, they were hugging each other and rocking back and forth in a dancing motion, so they were arrested for dancing at a national park. There was no singing. No, they were told there's no personal affection allowed. That's okay. But going after the drug dealer is wrong. Holy fucking shit, this world's going to hell. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense. I think you're listening to Reaver of Common Sense. I know the way this world's going. You may be listening to Barney Rubble. We'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid program.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. Why is my chair weird? Making sense out of the senseless, and the Jersey Takeover has arrived. And we have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please don't forget to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. So I've been alluding to it. Glenn Beck has hit the news again. We all know he was playing jock supporter for Mark Zuckerberg. He was holding up Zuckerberg's balls, fondling him, telling him how great he was. And from what I heard, it wasn't far from that he was just enamored. Hey, I'm going to be doing possibly the same thing, Jenna. Get done with the show. I'm going to go take a nap. Sorry about that. So now Glenn Beck has blasted conservative critics. As progressives on the right says Facebook leans left because conservatives don't use social media. Glenn Beck fired back yesterday at conservative who's criticized his full-throated defense of Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg. The radio talker dismissed his critics as progressives on the right. I'm going to attack everybody because my candidate lost. Well, I hate to tell you, part of the reason your candidate lost was because of you, Glenn Beck, and tactics like this. You want to talk about progressive? You are using the exact same tactics the left use. You're being passive-aggressive. You're attacking anybody that does not blindly agree with you. I can't even believe that you are siding with Facebook, and then you say nobody on the right uses the social media? Well, I think this is all a little tactic that he's been promised some extra social media himself for his failing company, The Blaze. The radio talker dismissed his critics as progressives on the right and argued that Facebook skews left simply because more left-wingers use social media. Last week, Beck and 16 other conservatives met with Zuckerberg at a damage control meeting the tech billionaire called following reports from several Facebook whistleblowers that the site's news curators actively suppress conservative stories in their trending news section while simultaneously boosting the signals of left-wing causes like Black Lives Matter. And also, you got to remember, during this meeting, no one was allowed to quote anything that was said in the meeting. No one was allowed to record what Mark Zuckerberg had to say. Everything was kept on the down low about what was actually said and done in the meeting. That shows what Zuckerberg's about. And Beck's subsequent defense of Facebook and panning his fellow conservatives, which I don't even think Beck has ever been a conservative. He is an opportunist who is making money off the backs of conservatives. He has misled conservatives. He has lied to them. Anything for him to make a buck, that's all he cares about. And the panning of his fellow conservatives at the meeting led some on the right to label him Zuckerberg's useful idiot. Tucker Carlson, who also attended the meeting, describes Beck's behavior as the most extended, assiduous suck-up I think I've ever seen as a grown man commit. Carlson told Politico that Beck acted like he was auditioning to be Mark Zuckerberg's manservant. Beck fired back at Carlson this morning, accusing him of wanting to force quotas on Facebook, which, according to Beck, makes him a progressive. So, expecting the left to follow and live up by their rules is progressive. Okay. What Tucker Carlson is saying about what he said at the meeting is not true, Beck stated. It was quotas that he was talking about. And watch what he does here in his statement. When someone wants to reinforce, especially a lie, they repeat. Well, it's a way of reinforcement. Think of what Obama does and a lot of liberals. They keep repeating what they say over and over again. And even within a sentence or two, they repeat. They're reinforcing their lie. Sorry, I had something stuck in between my teeth, too, and Beck stated it was a quota that he was talking about. Quotas. 3% of the population is Mormon. That was his quote. 3%. So I'm not saying that we go there that far, but shouldn't it be representative of how many conservatives there are? Shouldn't you hire that way? That's a quota. Quotas don't work. Quotas don't work. And the only ones that believe that are progressive on the right and progressives on the left. And they are already exposed themselves. Progressives are who progressives are, and they always will be. Unquote. And Beck is exposing who he is. Nothing but a fraud, a charlatan. He will suck up to those who have money, hoping that he will get some trickle down to save his company so he can cry again. Carlson, however, claims that he was simply suggesting that Facebook hire news curators with a broader diversity of view in order to avoid the sort of left-wing bias they've been accused of. His suggestion is in keeping with decades of conservative media criticism and activism from respected organizations like Brent Bozell Media Research Center and Breitbart's own Big Journalism. Beck also argued that Facebook has a left-wing bias simply because it is by design a social platform. Just because something is social does not make it socialist. Just because it is social does not make it Democrats. Conservatives are a social group of people also. Beck believes that people on the left use social media more than conservatives. That means there will never be balance or fairness on Facebook, no matter what technology and what the technology team does. Any wholly open platform like that will always tend towards left-leaning ideas and themes getting more attention. If it is truly open, it will still lead to more left-leaning ideas. Why? Because this is the psychology of the left. People on the left need to be heard, need to be validated. In order to feel whole, they have to be. He added, have you ever wondered why conservatives don't use social media? That's why. It's not that we're just busy. We're busy validating the ideas that work in reality. Listen, this man has lost touch with reality so bad it's not funny. And it's no wonder his company is failing. Having him a helmet, no wonder why. I don't think he could lead a horse to water if it was standing on a lake. The guy is not that bright. But he sure as hell can laugh. Or, cry. I'm laughing while he's crying. Ever since he's backed Cruz, and Cruz has nosedived, his company has nosedived, he has done nothing but attack fellow conservatives. He is one of the minority, like Never Trump. And he's still throwing his temper tantrum like a little child. However, Beck's suggestion that conservatives are uninterested in social media belays the facts that right-leaning Fox News is number 4 in the world among top Facebook publishers. The center-right Daily Mail is number 9. And, of course, Breitbart is number 15 in the world on Facebook. In fact, Breitbart has clawed its way to being a top Facebook publisher for the last 6 months, despite being identified as one of the conservative sites Facebook news curators routinely suppress. The most recent Facebook ratings show that in addition to being number 15 in the world for total Facebook engagement, Breitbart is 13th in the world for Facebook shares and leapt from 10 to 7 in the world for Facebook comments. Breitbart's success shows how engaged conservatives are on Facebook, and one can only imagine what our ranking would be if Facebook news curators weren't also putting their thumbs on the scale to their disadvantage. I hear all the time conservatives getting suspended for a week, 2 weeks, 30 days. Someone recently was saying some negative things, not nasty, negative things about Beck and how he was acting towards Zuckerberg. Got suspended. Conservatives, not just these companies, have been censored for speaking about conservative messages. Censored. Yes, it's a private company. I understand that. But they also have to have a fair environment. See, I have no problem using Democrat tactics against Democrats. But it seems that Mr. Beck, well, I don't even know what he is anymore. I really don't. Because that man is not a conservative. I'm not the one that sets up the rules, but his actions are speaking a hell of a lot louder than his words. All he has done is attack fellow conservatives because he did not get his way. And it seems like this election, there's so many of these news agencies that thought they had control of their listeners and their viewers. And when the public did not listen this time, and we stood up for ourselves, it seems it pissed off the likes of Glenn Beck. He doesn't want free thinkers. He wants followers. That is not being a conservative in my book. There's Ted Cruz supporters that I have no issue with. They supported their candidate. As Never Trump kept saying, this is the process. This is the way it goes. If you don't like it, sit down and shut up. Isn't that what we were told about the delegates? Well, Never Trump, take your own advice. Sit down and shut up. You don't seem to like it thrown back at you. Beck, my advice would be maybe you need to go into a little seclusion for a while. Do a little meditating and praying. Probably about a year or two's worth away from everybody to renew your conservative values. Put someone else in charge of your business. Maybe they'll make it a success that you can't make it. Your ego is in the way of your company. Your ego is in the way of your mouth. You think you are bigger than what you really are. And again, he is a perfect example. He thought he controlled millions. He didn't expect the mutiny that he got. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
To Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cough was stupid, bro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, who's screwing up all... I got caught off guard. Kel, we've missed you. I got caught watching... I can't remember the name of the show. There's obstacle course, and it's like, how bad can they mess you up? But welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. And I'm trying to make sense out of the senseless, but this is one of those days where it's just hard. It's difficult. Everything seems upside down. Supposed conservatives attacking conservatives. Police on trial for doing their jobs. Criminals being praised. And it's just, oh my God. It drives me up a wall. All right, the RNC, oh my God, I can't speak. Bleep, bleep, bleep. The RNC spokesman, Democrat convention is going to be an absolute nightmare. The RNC chief strategist and communication director, Sean Spicer, says that Democrats might be heading to a contested convention while Republicans unify around Donald Trump. I would sit back and get some popcorn out. The Democrat convention in Philadelphia, I think, is going to be an absolute nightmare because these folks want real substantive change. They want Hillary to capitulate on a lot of items. And I think that while she has got an enormous tug to the left, she realizes that to go full socialist is a receipt for disaster. Sanders is in this for the long haul. I'd be surprised if he doesn't go all the way to the convention. I think it's amazing, and it really turns the political class on their heads because they can't understand why it's the Republicans that have their act together. We got Bernie Sanders endorsing. Holy shnikes. Bernie Sanders endorsing the first real substantive primary challenger that Debbie Wasserman Schultz has ever had. This guy raised $1 million. This isn't some godfly. And then you look at the poll numbers showing Trump leading Clinton nationally. Spicer continues, it's amazing to watch the collective media class that's inside the Beltway go, I just don't understand this. The problem is that they don't understand what's going on in America right now. And I'm not going to pat myself on the shoulder here. I'm not. But there's a lot of pundits. Kel is one of them. Sean. Clint. Dan. The alternative media sources like SHR Media, like High Plains Pundit Radio, Radio Jihad. They have a finger on the pulse of the people because we are the people. And it's not just because, take Sackhead Sean. He is not 100% behind Trump. He still has his reservations about Trump. Doesn't mean he's not going to vote for Trump if he's the delegate. He has some reservations, but he has the best outlook. Since he has some reservations about Trump, he wants to make sure that he elects a Congress that will stand up to a rogue president, because we know the Congress that we have right now will not, has not, stood up against a rogue president. But the reason why all these supposed experts have gotten it wrong is because, well, they become part of the problem. And their egos have gotten in the way. Because you know how many times I've heard, well, I've been doing this 20 years and I know exactly. Holy shit, I got it wrong. Well, no, I got this one wrong. They've gotten every fucking thing wrong this election. They're not in touch with what's going on in the street. They are not in touch with the people. They have become one of those elitists. And sad to say that if, let's say, SHR Media, we went mainstream, in another 20 years, we would probably get it wrong too, because we would be out of touch with what the people are saying. I'm not condemning the people that are wrong, but they are, it's the old guard. And just like anything else, the old guard tends to have to make way for the new guard to come in. And they've gotten it wrong time and time again. Nobody understands why Trump is so popular. It's... Sorry, I had to adjust the camera a bit. And it's not just a conservative issue. We have the Democrats going on with the exact same issue, and they got the same thing going on. Whether it's true or not, that's what has fueled Bernie Sanders. I mean, to say that he's anti-establishment is one of the biggest jokes I've ever heard. The man's been in government since 1981. He has been sucking at the teat of the American government for what? That's 20, carry the 2, 30-some years. The guy is establishment to the word go. But he is a full-on socialist. He has no problem with communism. He had pushed communism at one time. And no, actually, if you look at all the violence, 95% of the violence that came at Trump rallies were Bernie supporters. They're the ones that started the shit, because look at Nevada. The Nevada convention that just happened. The Democratic Nevada convention. There was crowds of people booing Democrats. Gunfire. Violence erupted. And what do you think's going to happen when they announce that Hillary Clinton is the nominee? This same group, and yes, they're new to politics, and they're I heard a pundit, well, all these people that are new, they get emotional. Good. I'm tired of people, no, we don't want no emotions. No. Do you think our founding fathers weren't emotional? They weren't pissed off? They weren't sick and tired of the crap from Britain? We've been non-emotional for how many years now? We've sat back. Maybe it's time for a little emotion. Maybe it's time to be a little pissed off. They don't want you emotional because they want you to be a zombie about it. They don't want you having any type of feelings towards this. Because then the uprising goes away. It's... Now, I think people are finally catching on to these alternative media set. The numbers are showing it across the board for all the different shows. And you have some of the pundits that have been doing it for a long time that are jumping onto these small networks. It's good for the networks, but also maybe it's bringing them back to why. But yes, the Beltway media has gotten everything wrong. They don't understand it. People have had it with the Clintons. People have had it with Hillary Clinton. They're stale. And people know what they're getting. Hillary has not stood by on a single thing that she has said. People change, yes. Oh my God. In this election, I've heard her flip-flop. I'm going to shut down all the coal plants and put everybody out of jobs. that worked in coal. Oh, no. I'm talking about something else. I misspoke. I don't want to put people out of work within the coal industry. Oh, yes, I am going to put them out of work, but I'm going to give them federal training for new jobs. All within a month. Those 3 different comments came out of her mouth. She's had the left even ask her. The left. CNN has asked her, will you say anything to get elected? I played you the clip yesterday.
You're against same-sex marriage. Now you're for it. You defended President Obama's immigration policies. Now you say they're too harsh. You supported his trade deal dozens of times. You even called it the gold standard. Now, suddenly last week, you're against it. Will you say anything to get elected?
Do you think New York State should recognize gay marriage?
No.
No. Okay.
I believe that marriage is not just a bond, but a sacred bond between a man and a woman. I have not supported same-sex marriage. I have supported civil partnerships and contractual relationships.
I support marriage for lesbian and gay couples. I support it personally and as a matter of policy and law.
I take a backseat to no one when you look at my record and standing up and fighting for progressive values.
Last month in Ohio, you said you plead guilty to, quote, being kind of moderate and center. Do you change your political identity based on who you're talking to?
No. I get accused of being kind of moderate and center. I plead guilty.
Just for the record, are you a progressive or are you a moderate?
I'm a progressive. I represented Wall Street as a senator from New York, and I went to Wall Street in December of 2007, before the big crash that we had, and I basically said, cut it out. Quit foreclosing on homes. Quit engaging in these kinds of speculative behaviors.
Now, who's exactly to blame for the housing crisis? I think there's plenty of blame to go around. Home buyers who paid extra fees to avoid documenting their income should have known they were getting in over their heads.
Of course we have to deal with the problem that the banks are still too big to fail. We can never let the American taxpayer and middle-class families ever have to bail out the kind of speculative behavior that we saw. But we also have to worry about some of the other players. AIG, a big insurance company, Lehman Brothers, an investment bank. There's this whole area called...
Now, it's funny, you're hearing that little ding that's going on, and what it is she's bashing all these companies, and they're the top donators to her campaign. This woman, and she doesn't even know what she stands for. And then there's emails that we've come across because of the email scandal that got released that her handlers have said, email everything because she is not with it. She doesn't have a memory. She gets confused easy. And not because she's a female, because she's getting up there in age. This is a woman that they said they had to send Susan Rice out on the Sunday talk show because it was too stressful for her. How is she going to handle the stress of being president if she can't go out there and tell the truth or even push their lies? The Democrat Party has major issues going on, and it's kind of comical to watch because they say that the Republican Party is worse right now. The Democrats just try to keep it in-house as much as possible. The Democrat race has hit its nastiest point yet. Bernie Sanders is fighting to try to revise the convention rules to prevent Clinton from being able to claim the nomination on the backs of unelected superdelegates. Clinton so far has refused to negotiate on the issue whether or not she will give up her superdelegates. The RNC is clearly enjoying the friction to the left. You look at the polls numbers, we have more solidification of our party. It is the Democrats who are divided. It is Sanders folks who are not only saying I'll stay home, But 1 in 10 Sanders folks says, I'll vote for Trump. And that's amazing. Now, what scares me is I was reading an article yesterday that the RNC is already looking at changing the rules this year for 2020. And they're looking to go along the lines, more of these super delegates. They want to take it out of the hands of the people. They don't want the people deciding who the candidate will be. They want to decide who will represent us. And that scares the shit out of me. They've seen what the people are saying, and they're looking how to set it up for 2020. They don't have to listen to us. Well, if they do that, that might be the death knell of the RNC. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
To Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying coffee is stupid, bro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. And I am trying to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to join the conversation, great. Go to SHR Media, click on the chat room button, join the conversation. If you want to watch the live broadcast, well, that's even easier. Just go to Reaver.1, click on the live stream. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. So, yeah, the NRC's chief strategist and communication director, Sean Spicer, had other things to say. He blasted the mainstream media for not holding Hillary Clinton's surrogate, Ed Rendell's feet to the fire for his comments about ugly women. Former Pennsylvania Governor Rendell made headlines by stating that Trump's comment, like, "You can't be a 10 if you're flat-chested," that'll come back to haunt him. There are probably more ugly women in America than attractive women. People take that stuff personally, but it's okay for him to make those comments and statements that there's more ugly women in the United States. Well, that's all a very subjective point of view. I'll tell you that right now. What you consider attractive, I may not find attractive. What you find hideous, I might not find hideous. It's a very subjective term. And Rendell kind of stuck his foot in, and they need to be held to the same standard that they hold everybody else. That's one of the things they do within their 12 rules for radicals. They actually try to hold themselves up and hold the other people to a higher standard. Well, it's time to start holding them to a higher standard. Spicer said that Breitbart News Sunday on Siri XM Patriot 125 that Rendell should be held to the same standards as any Republican who makes a comment that the media would deem offensive. This idea that Ed Rendell, who is the chairman of this convention that is about to occur in Philadelphia for the Democrats, a former DNC chair, a former governor, a top surrogate, makes a statement like that, and barely anyone in the mainstream media acknowledges it. And when they do, it was all like, well, he's already apologized. Let's move on. You notice when Democrats make a mistake, he's apologized. Let's just move on and let's go on with it. Republican makes a mistake. It says and instead of and, or some bullshit like that. And oh my God, we need to get the pitchforks and flames out. We need to kill that son of a bitch. She made an error. Well, he said he's sorry. That's not good enough. It drives me up a wall, the double standard that they have, and it's so obvious. And what's even scarier is there's actually people that fall for that bullshit, that are dumb enough to fall for the double standards. Well, you see, he did apologize. Perfect example, Senator Byrd was a KKK member, high-ranking KKK member, a recruiter. And he was a member and high-ranking during some of the worst times of the KKK, where they were hanging people because of the color of their skin. But he apologized. So that forgives all the sins he did. He admits he was wrong. Let's go on with it. Holy fucking shit. I'm still hearing shit over Trump because some jackass Ku Klux Klan member said people should vote for Trump. Now, they're still going on how Trump's a racist about it. He had no control over what that jackass said. He immediately shot it down within 2 hours of it coming out, and they still expected more from him. It is absolutely sick, and I'm tired of it. Start calling them on their bullshit. Start point out that they've had a fucking senator. And it wasn't just during the 50s. Senator Byrd was in office from the 50s all the way up to 2010 when he retired. He wasn't forced out. He retired. We have Hillary Clinton, who praised him, how great he was. She talks highly about Margaret Sanger, who's the one that came up with the Planned Parenthood. And why did she do it? Because she wanted to weed out the black culture. She wanted to do it through abortion. But yeah, the party switched in 1964. Yeah, the only thing that switched is people became stupid and started falling for the bullshit of the Democrat lies. And I know there's issues with the Republicans. I am not going to stand here, well, sit here, I should say, and blow smoke up your ass. There's issues with the Republicans. But they're not the ones telling you to your face that the other one's racist, when they're the ones that are the biggest racists of them all. Oh, you can't, as a culture, step up and get those jobs. You need the government to help you. You're not able to do it. You can't get in that college because of the color of your skin without the government telling you those colleges to accept you. I believe anybody can do anything if they put their mind and they try. There's a lot of people that came from the ghetto and made stuff of themselves. Was it a little bit of luck? Was it a lot of hard work? Hell yeah. But given in dealing with drugs and all that, what, do you see Snoop Dogg and, trying to think of the other two rappers, P. Diddy and whatever he goes by now. Now, who's that other one? I can't remember his name. But because they were drug dealers, the one friggin' killed a man, and now he's held as this great person. Is he smart? Yes, they're very smart men. But they also commit a lot of crime. But did they work their ass off and get themselves out of the projects? Yeah, one married to Kim Kardashian. I'm just sick of this shit. The double... No, it wasn't Kim Kardashian. Beyonce. I'm sorry, Beyonce. The one married to Beyonce. Yeah, Kanye West, he's just a fucking nut job. He is nutty. No, the one that's married to Beyonce, he owns the arena in Brooklyn where the Islanders play. I can see his face. He's done some work with P. Diddy or Sean Combs or whatever name he goes by. That's going to drive me nuts. Jay-Z. That's it. Thank you, Cal. Thank you. Jay-Z. I mean, he's murdered people. As a gangbanger and a drug dealer. And what's funny is he walks around with a shirt of Cesar Chavez, who was a racist. He hated black people. It's the double standards that go on. They dissect every tweet and word and syllable that comes out of Donald Trump's mouth and every conservative. But when it comes to liberals that make unbelievable offensive comments, it's always excused. Well, he apologized. He didn't mean it. It was taken out of context. There is Republicans that lost their careers because they misspoke on something, and the Democrats threw a fucking hissy fit. We need to start jumping all over this shit. Jump all over them and not let them get away with it. Don't let mainstream media tell you when. Stand up, call your senators, write your congressmen. Hold them accountable. Real quick, I want to go over, Mark Zuckerberg has bought 4 neighboring houses so that he can demolish them, which is his right. He has the money to do it. But he's putting up this huge-ass fucking fence around his house to protect his family. But he doesn't want us putting up a wall on the border to protect our country. He wants to be protected from the crime, but he doesn't want any of us to be protected from the crime. Kind of funny, a man that's 6th richest man on the planet from stealing an idea from a bunch of college kids. He was hired to create this for other purposes and stole the idea. It drives me up a wall. He has the right to buy those houses up. I'm not complaining about that. He has a right to build a wall to protect his houses. But then he expects everybody else to be in danger. Now, that's where I draw the line. Well, it's that time of the show. I want to thank everybody. Truly honored. We missed you, Kel, and thank you, Jenna, for being here. I'll be back tomorrow, same time, same station, but also tomorrow night I have the Southside Much Show. Again, if you never listen to it, you got to tune in at 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. It is 2 dim-witted idiots insulting each other and talking politics. Until tomorrow, have a great day. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.